Hi, I'm Joey Blanco with RWB Realty Group. Welcome back to my channel. And so today I'm going to be talking to you about the home selling process. And let me warn you, this is going to be a pretty long video, even if I try to shrink it down, because there's a lot of information. However, I will be inserting chapters into this video, so you'll be able to tab right through it. If I start wandering off track a little bit or going down a tangent, you'll be able to fast forward right to the next chapter. As a matter of fact, you may have fast forwarded to the next chapter already. So let's just get right into it. All right, so the home selling process. As you can see here, there's several steps, and I'm not going to read each one of these steps to you, but just know that we will talk about all of these steps. And the last step, of course, is closing. So let's just get right into it. All right, so you've decided that you're going to list your home. Whether it's, because you're moving with a job or you're tired of Oklahoma City, you want to move to Florida, whatever it may be, you've decided you need to sell your home. So what do you need to do? You need to meet with a real estate professional. And hopefully you'll call RWB. And so we can interview for you. And I believe in interviewing for the job. It's our job to sell your home. And so you need to interview, and I would advise that you interview several realtors to see who has your best interest at heart. And you could tell when you do the interview, you could tell if somebody is just a fast talker or if they really are passionate about helping you and helping you to sell your home. All right. So again, we believe that when we come to your home, we are interviewing for the job of selling your home. All right. Not the job of listing your home, selling your home. Remember, as it says right there, we don't get paid to list your home. We get paid to sell it. So we need to keep that in mind. Also, I will never say that I'm going to work with you, okay? I'm not working with you. I'm working for you. As you know, there are commissions involved, and we are going to take a commission for selling your home, not for listing your home, but for selling it. And essentially, I'm working for you, okay? And so those are just 3 bullet points that I think are important for you to know. All right, so you've hired our RWB Realty Group. We passed our interview and we got the job. So one of the first things that we're going to talk about is establishing a price. All right. Now, setting the right price is important because it needs to marry up with your goals. Now, what do I mean by marry up with your goals? Well, what's your timeline? Do you have to sell fast? Are you to report to your new job in 45 days and we need to get your house on the market, get it on contract and get it sold fast because you've got to move your family quickly? Or do you have a little bit of time? Do you have 4 months? Could you let your house sit on the market for a little bit over the average days on market that are in, for that neighborhood? And so setting the price is important. If you need to sell it fast, maybe we set the price slightly below market rate. And an example of that, let's just use a $300,000 house. Maybe you set the price at $295 and try to create that interest, the frenzy of, wow, look at this great deal. This is a $295 house in Edmond where the average going rate is $300. Really spark that interest. You could get a bidding war. Not always. Not always. I'm not saying that's what you need to do to create a bidding war, but I'm saying that that's what you need to be thinking about when establishing a price. If you've got time, maybe you price it slightly above. On a $300,000 market average neighborhood, maybe you put it on the market for 305. Now, that's not going to create as much interest. However, maybe, maybe you get a bite. And maybe somebody says, you know what, I'll give you 305. I really want to be in that neighborhood. And so these are things that we need to be thinking about when establishing a price. Now, of course, we at RWB Realty Group are going to do a comparative market analysis. And we are going to advise you on what the going rate of homes are in that area. What are houses selling for? How about houses that are on the market for 30 or more days? What are they asking? Let's say price per square foot. And maybe they're priced way too high. So we'll steer you away from that price per square foot because that's too high. And obviously that house has been sitting on the market forever. So these are things that we're going to talk about when establishing a price. Now remember, at the end of the day, you set the price. Not me, not RWB Realty Group. You set the price. You are, like the old George W. Bush used to say, you're the decider. Or he used to say, I'm the decider.
But I'm the decider.
But you are the decider of the price. All right? Okay, so we've come up with a price, and now it's time to get your house ready to sell. All right, now this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where a lot of the hard work is going to go in order to ensure that your home sells for the highest possible price and as quickly as possible. So part one is going to be on me. I'm going to order the professional photos. I'm going to design brochures. I'm going to create, but not pull the trigger yet on Facebook, Instagram ads. I'm going to get the MLS going. I'm going to do all these things behind the scenes. These are all things, these are, I call them investments because, we are going to pay for the professional photos. We are going to pay for the designing and printing of brochures. We are going to pay for those Facebook, Instagram ads. We are investing in your home so that we could sell it. And then we're going to earn a commission for that. Now, part of your job is going to be, and I'm not going to go too deep into this because during our meeting, we'll have our listing agreement meeting, and then either at that meeting or probably set up another meeting to where we will go room by room in your house and come up with a game plan on how to get it ready for photos and showings. But part of that plan is decluttering. Okay? And I'll use, I should take you into my master bedroom closet right now. Be like, oh my God, there's so many clothes in there. Okay? Well, it makes our closet look small. And so you do not want you may have a huge walk-in closet, but if you got it jam-packed, it will look small. Okay? So I would recommend that you pull out probably 3/4 of the items in your master closet or other room closet, really all the closets, okay? And I know you're probably saying, oh my God, isn't that overkill? Well, hear me out. So all of us could downsize some clothes. I've probably got 50 golf shirts and I only wear about 5 of them. And I know that a lot of you are like me. So whenever we go to sell a house, I will pull out the majority of my golf shirts and I will leave only the ones that I really, really wear. And I believe that you should do the same. Because when it comes time to take those photos, you have, let's say, 1/4 of the items in the closet. You have them all spaced out nice and neat, and those photos will come out beautiful. and people will wow at that closet and look at all the space in the closet. Okay. Sprucing up your front yard. I'm not talking about bringing in a gardener and completely redesigning or doing like a curb appeal makeover. Okay. I'm talking about maybe putting some new mulch in if the mulch is really old, or if the mulch isn't that old, maybe just turning it and, getting that fresh mulch that's been underneath up to the top, pulling any weeds out of the flower bed in the front, just really getting it ready for photos. Okay. And then lastly, I've got on here deep cleaning. I'm not saying you have to hire somebody to do a deep cleaning, although if you would like somebody to do that for you, that'd be great. Because maybe you can have that deep cleaning done while you're outside sprucing up your front yard. But if you want to do a light cleaning and then pay somebody to wash the windows. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh my gosh, wash the windows? Are you kidding me? It makes a huge difference. And I didn't believe it until I was selling my home in California when I retired from the Air Force. And this was before my real estate days. And the realtor said, look, you need to wash the windows. And I was like, the windows are fine. I could do that myself. I'll just Windex them. Well, we went ahead and did it. And let me tell you what a difference it made. When somebody walked into our house, they noticed like, wow, look at those windows. And so that is something I would highly recommend. Again, once you hire us, we will go through all of this with you step by step. I'll even create a checklist for you, and the stuff that you want to do, you can just check it right off. All right, so the next thing is listing your home on the MLS. All right, so I've got the Facebook ads and the brochures and everything designed, ready to rock. All right, and so what we do typically is we are going to list your home on a Friday, and we're going to have an open house on Saturday, Sunday. All right, back to back, open house Saturday and Sunday on the weekend, the same weekend that you list your home on that Friday. All right, we will also, depending on whether or not you want to do it or not, we could do a coming soon option and really get the interest going, in your house. Hey, coming soon, we got a house in Edmond. Really get people's interest sparked so that as soon as it goes on the market, people have been waiting and boom, they can come to the open house and they can see it. All right. We're also going to go live with our Facebook, our Instagram ads. So anybody that's on Facebook Marketplace, scrolling through, looking for whatever it is that you look for on Facebook Marketplace, they're going to see your house, scroll up, probably, every 5 or 6 pages. Here's your house again. And, if they're looking for a house, they'll click on it and hopefully they'll buy it. We're also going to mail brochures to all your neighbors. All right. Now, of course, this will be something that we will talk to you about, and I'll explain in depth why we think it's important. But just briefly, you would think, that doesn't make any sense. You're going to mail just listed brochures to all my neighbors. What does my neighbor want to? He's not going to buy my house. Well, maybe not. However, your neighbors and people in your neighborhood, and I'm speaking from experience, they know people who want to move into your neighborhood. And so when they get that just listed flyer, what are they going to do? They're going to call their friend who's been wanting to move into that neighborhood, wanting to move closer to their friend or their family member, and say, hey, house just went on the market. That happened to me when we sold our house here in Oklahoma City and moved from suburban area out to a rural area. The neighborhood we lived in was one that there was no homes for sale in, but a lot of people wanted to live in. And so it was a friend of a neighbor that lived across the street because that neighbor wanted their friend to live in the neighborhood. And so we will we will send all of your neighbors a brochure. I'm not going to sell them. I'm not going to send them a postcard. We all know that postcards get tossed in the trash. A lot of times they don't even make it into the house. I will do a trifold brochure, and I'm going to mail it in a regular envelope, and I'm going to handwrite. Well, maybe I'm not going to handwrite, but one of our assistants will handwrite every single address on there to ensure that that letter gets opened. That letter makes it into the house of your neighbor. It gets opened and it gets read. Now, maybe it gets thrown away immediately after it gets read. You know, chances are it probably will. But it will get read. And they will know that there's a home listed in that neighborhood. So if they do have any families or friends, boom, they will let them know. All right. Okay, so one thing that I need to bring up, I don't know if you could tell I'm splicing this in after I gave the whole presentation, but I forgot to mention it. So holding an open house. Open houses, the rules, or at least the rules that we follow for open houses when it comes to luxury homes is different than when it comes to homes that are, let's say, sub 500,000. Okay. If your home is, let's say, 5, 6, 7, 8 $1 million home, then we tend to, well, actually, unless the client insists on an open house, which could happen, we will not hold an open house on that type of home, on the luxury home. You tend to get a lot of looky-loos. Oh, they've never been inside of $1 million home. They're not qualified for $1 million home. They have no intentions of buying $1 million home. They just want to see it. And so they'll show up and they'll eat the cookies if there's cookies available, and, just check out the house. It's cheaper than going to the movies, so they'll do that. That is part of the reason why we won't hold an open house for a luxury style home. If you've got a luxury style home, then we prefer to show the home on appointment only, and then also we insist on being at the showing if another agent brings his client, the buyer, to the home, because we don't want them to miss any of the special features that home has. And who better to talk about the features than the agent that is listing the home, because we've been through it and the owner has talked about all these features with us, and we're being paid to sell that home. So we do like to personally show the house ourselves. Now, sometimes that could rub the buying agent the wrong way, and if that's gonna cause an issue, then I'll present all those features beforehand to the buying agent so he or she is aware of all of these features so that they could do a proper showing. We also vet on luxury homes. We vet the clients. They need to either bring proof of funds or pre-approval showing that they could even afford $1 million home, either in cash or loan. And so we don't want people, coming to your home just to check it out, just to see what $1 million, $4 million, an $8 million home looks like. That is something that we will protect for. And so I needed to throw that in. All right, so we've had the open houses and we're going to rack and stack all the offers for you. Hopefully, it's a multiple offer situation for you. If not, we'll present the offers as soon as they come in. So when we receive an offer, boom, we're going to send it right to you. That is our duty as a realtor. It's our duty to present all offers. And so I do not have the ability to say, this is not a good offer, I'm just going to toss it and not even show it to the client. We have to present all offers to you, and we will. Now, if multiple offers are received, then we're going to explain the pros and cons of each offer along with an estimated net sheet for each. So if man, God willing, if you got 10 offers, well, then we're going to have a little bit of work to do. We're going to rack and stack those offers, probably do some sort of a spreadsheet, and we're going to talk about them. Okay, this is an all cash offer. However, they're saying ahead of time, and I'm saying this because this is something that we've seen, all cash offer, but you have to agree to fix every single item that we find during the inspection phase. Okay, we're not going to do that. Because you never know every single thing on the inspection phase, that's crazy, even though it was a cash offer. The net of that offer would probably be lower than some of the other offers. Here's a VA loan, they're putting this much down. Here's an FHA loan, they're putting this much down. This one wants 2% closing costs, this one wants 1% closing costs. There's a lot of numbers out there, and so we will rack and stack everything, and we will talk you through each one, the pros and cons, and then ultimately you decide which one you're going to go with. All right, we are under contract, and so this is the shortest of the slides. You and the buyer have agreed to the terms, and you have signed the agreement. And so now is when the fun really begins. And so we go right into inspections, title work, the appraisal, and all the other things that go along with that. And so what you can expect from RWB Realty Group is that we will be present for all inspections. We will walk with the inspector and not to interfere, because as the selling agent, it's really not our business to get into the inspection part of it per se, because the buyer pays for that inspection and it's his inspection. However, we want to be aware of what's going on. And so, we will pay attention to what's going on, answer any questions, and so forth. We will also meet with the appraiser. This is very important. We will talk the appraiser through all the improvements that you've made since purchasing the home. They're going to want to know all those things so that they could properly appraise the house for its value. And so that's very important that we do that. We also work hand in hand with the title company. Title company will need these things signed, they'll need these documents, and so we will be continuously working in the background with the title company to make sure that we can close on time, at least from the seller's side of things. Now, of course, as always, sometimes the buyer's side may need to delay closing because of the loan or whatever, but there will not be a delay because of something we have failed to provide. We can guarantee that. All right, and then once all the inspections have cleared, the appraisals happen, the title insurance been issued, it is time for closing day. And so this is the day that we've all been waiting for. The buyers, either the morning of or sometimes the day before, we'll conduct a final walkthrough. This is just to make sure that everything is the way that you guys have agreed. For example, let's say that you've agreed, and this is standard. Normally, the stove and the dishwasher, those appliances typically stay, unless you specifically write in the contract that they're going with you. But most of the time, stove, dishwasher stays with the home. Okay, well, what if when you moved out, you decided you were taking it with you? Okay, well, when the buyer does the final walkthrough and notices, hey, they took the hot water heater, they took and true story, a buyer, or no, I'm sorry, not a buyer, a seller took the thermostat off the wall before the buyer moved in. Not only that, but they also took the shower heads off. So when the buyer came to move into the home and let me turn the AC on, no thermostat. The seller took the thermostat and the seller took the shower heads. So you'd call his realtor and say, hey, what's going on with this? And of course it was in the contract. I mean, that stuff has to stay with the house. And so the seller actually had to bring back the thermostat, reconnect it, and give back the shower heads as well. But this is the reason for the final walkthrough. So you could find those things and before closing, and it stinks because you're ready to close this deal and something comes up on the final walkthrough. But that's why we do that. Okay. One thing that is not required, but it is something that I've done on every home that I've ever sold personally, and I've also seen it left for me on a couple of homes, is it's always a nice gesture to leave a note to the buyers of your home. Just with any specific quirks that your home has had. I'll give you a great example. So my uncle is the ultimate do-it-yourself guy, and he installed a sprinkler system completely on his own. And there were valves everywhere. And he was the only one that knew how to turn on all the zones and to turn on one zone and turn off another one. If he didn't leave a note or some sort of instructions to the buyer of that house on how to operate that system that he put in himself, they would never figure it out. I mean, there were pipes everywhere and valves, and like I said, he was the only one that could do it. So stuff like that, just little quirks. If there's a shutoff valve to shut off the water to the whole house and it's somewhere other than the front yard. Let's say you have a valve inside the house in the closet sometimes. I had a valve to shut off water in the master closet, for example. And you pulled a panel off and there it was right there. Boom, shut the water off to the whole house. That's typically not something that a potential buyer could see when they're doing a showing. So stuff like that would be nice just to let them know, hey, just heads up, this is where that is. And so, again, it's a nice gesture, and the buyers we always appreciate when there's a note that just leaves information like that. On closing day, make sure you bring all the keys, gate openers, and garage door openers so that the buyers can get into their new house. And that is the last slide that I've got for you. I hope this video was informative. I know it's going to be running long because I tend to ramble a little bit. I get real geeky about this kind of stuff, and so I can ramble on like I'm doing now. But we hope that you will allow RWB Realty Group to interview for the job of listing your home. Give us a call anytime, day or night. Our contact information is always in the description below, and we hope you have a great day. Thank you.